The show can't start until we crack open a bottle of Revelton. Whether it's their crisp, clean vodka, the bold spice of their rye whiskey, the rich smoothness of bourbon, or the original honey whiskey that started it all, every pour is a taste of craft and passion straight from the heart of Iowa.
Don't know where
So
our
pour
intro's
yourself
at.
a drink, settle in, and get ready to relax, laugh, and enjoy the show.
Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media, and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
From the top rope, kid and killer roar so loud. Black and gold waving, we're a fearless crowd. Under them lights, the fight burns bright. Greatest team assembled, ready for the fight. We stand tall, we stand true. Every game, every play, got the Hawkeye view. Legends rise, and we all knew that the black and gold's coming straight for you. From a Hawk's eye view, see the whole state rise. With a heart so strong and fire in our eyes. On the field, on the court, in the stands, we shine. The best in the game, and the state is mine. Cover Hawkeyes, looking, watch them break that glass. Dropping dimes, hitting threes, never second guess. Full court hustle, hear the sneaker side. With the fight in our veins, we red at pride. We stand tall, we stand true. Every game, every play, got the Hawkeye view. Legends rise, and we all knew that the black and gold's coming straight for you. From a Hawk's eye view, see the whole state rise.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Sorry, maybe a little technical difficulty off the jump there. So we are fired up here on a Thursday evening, usually on Wednesday evenings, but special Thursday episode of Hawk's Eye View here. Drew, let's start with maybe some Iowa-related news. Pat Fitzgerald getting cleared, coming to a settlement with Northwestern. Northwestern looking bad in kind of the whole thing. I think Pat Fitzgerald got paid a handsome sum. I don't think we know the amount. I don't think it's been disclosed, or maybe it won't be disclosed. Maybe we'll hear the amount leak out from someone in the coming days. But the reason why this might be Iowa news is because his son is with the program, and Pat has been seen hanging out, not necessarily helping out with the team, but he's been seen hanging out around the facilities, that kind of thing.
Pat,
as a parent.
Pat's been hanging around the facilities for the last couple of years.
Yeah, he has. He has. Even before his
donning the black and gold quite often, actually, which is pretty surprising.
Yeah, especially just for our fans who may not know, he broke his leg against Iowa in a year that Northwestern went to the Rose Bowl. And in his view, it was a dirty play that caused him to miss the Rose Bowl. And since that point, he harbored a lot of a grudge against Iowa. I think carried that grudge through his time as a coach at Northwestern for sure. So him wearing the black and gold now, even though his son is going there, but like Drew, to your point, doing it before his son was on campus is surprising. So do we think that he's joining the Iowa football staff in some capacity, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe in the short term to just get back in the game, I guess. Like at Iowa specifically, maybe he wants to go back and coach, be a head man somewhere and start over. Now that he's free and clear and getting a undisclosed amount of money, like you said. Northwestern's a private institution, so I don't think you're going to see that leak out. I'm sure there's non-disclosure agreements and all that tied into it. Much like we might see here in a year or two from John Gruden in the NFL. I know that has nothing to do with Iowa. But
there's another one.
Yeah.
It's maybe two different situations, but yeah, I get where you're coming from with that. I think, he could be joining in some kind of an analyst role, maybe, to kind of.
So like Brian
Ferentz kind of happened during the Saban era at Alabama. Yeah, but it's more reminiscent to me if Pat Fitzgerald joins as an analyst at Iowa. It's more of like what Saban did at Alabama with a few guys. Bring them in as an analyst, and they would go out as a head coach.
Rehab their image is
so
what
I think I could see that for Pat Fitzgerald. There's some people that are going so far as rehab their image. Yeah. There's so far as to say that Pat Fitzgerald is going to be the heir apparent to Kirk Ferentz. I'm not going to go that far, Drew.
No.
I don't think we're headed down a path for that, but maybe he'll be considered when Kirk Ferentz finally retires. Who knows?
I think you got to. I think you got to give the first nod to Phil Parker.
That's if Phil Parker wants to be a head coach. Everything, to my understanding, is that when Kirk goes, Phil goes to retirement as well. It's a package deal. So then I think if you're talking internally, maybe Tim Lester, maybe Seth Wallace, maybe LeVar Woods. Maybe not necessarily in that order. We'll see how things unfold in the coming years. But that's kind of where my mind goes as far as internal people. So I don't know. I don't want to dive too deep because I think we're actually quite a ways off from that. So
it sounds like
we could be here next year talking. Yeah. Kirk seems invigorated. The reason why I hit you up earlier today actually and said that there might be an announcement about Pat Fitzgerald at Iowa is because Kirk held a press conference today, which is unusual because it's not a game week. But they just wanted to give an extra week of media availability this year. So apparently Iowa was just being kind to the media. He did not introduce Pat Fitzgerald as an analyst at today's media availability. I just thought it was odd that a Kirk Ferentz media availability popped up on the same day. His son tweeted out a black and gold dot on his father's thing, so it was one of those cryptic tweet situations that sent everybody into wild speculation mode, including myself. I go down the internet rabbit hole, Drew, all the time.
It keeps us entertained while there's no games actually being played.
Yeah, on that note, there will probably actually be a game played this Saturday in Ireland.
Probably.
That might have something to do with Iowa. Yeah, probably. There's a chance of football breaking out in Ireland.
So who's
it may have something to do with Iowa football.
Who's Man U playing then? Who's Man U playing then? You said football.
Oh yeah, Man U's playing Man City. It's a big matchup.
Yeah. Are they playing?
No. Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, American football.
Yes.
American football. All right. Iowa State, Kansas State, in Ireland. Drew, I've seen some debate. I want to get your thoughts here. What's better for Iowa? Or maybe not what's better for two different questions here, maybe. What's better for Iowa with the outcome of this game? And where do you sit as watching your rival play in a game like this? As a fan.
As a fan, like, I'm pretty stoked that it's a top 25 matchup in conference play right out the gate. Like, I'm pretty pumped to see conference football. Like, I mean, I know it doesn't really have any stake in the Hawkeyes, really. I mean, until week 3. I think there's going to be some attrition on the side of Iowa State. That's going to be a concern for them. That plays positive in a positive manner for the Hawkeyes. Not that you want to see people get hurt and jacked up or whatnot, but it's just part of football, right? So, I mean, you're going in with one less game played health-wise, so that's an automatic. I can't say automatic. It is I don't know. It's a factor for sure. That being said, they also have 2 full games of real play and before playing the Hawkeyes, so they have more chemistry built, right? Going into game 3 as opposed to game 2 for the Hawkeyes. As far as the outcome is concerned,
yeah,
I think you would prefer Iowa State to pull it off, but I think we're going to see a shit show, honestly. First game out, prime time, a lot on the line. You're going to see I think you're going to see a lot of hesitation to take chances. I think it's going to be a lot of timid football probably in the first half of, just putting the feelers out, trying to stay upright, I guess, for lack of a better phrase. Yeah, I think overall it's probably – I actually don't think Iowa State wins this football game. So I would say that that's probably a negative if they lose for the Hawkeyes. But going back to my initial comments of our season premiere this year for football, South Dakota actually is a really good FCS squad. I think they're top 5 in the FCS. I know they're not South Dakota State where they're repeat national champions or North Dakota State where they're champions, but they're top 5. So, like, they can't sleep on them coming back to Ames either the very next week. So that's going to be a quick turnaround. And from someone that has made that trip from Ireland back to the States a couple times, serving overseas, that's not an easy time period recovery, and then go right back into prep and walkthroughs and practice leading into another week. So it's kind of, I think Iowa State kind of gets a shaft and not getting like a bye or a mini bye or something, in that regard, kicking off. Maybe they should have kicked this game off on a Thursday night. But that's all I really have about that matchup.
Yeah, like tonight or tomorrow night. Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
No, those are good thoughts, Drew. I don't think you are right about South Dakota. I think I was wrong about South Dakota. I thought they were bad for some reason. They are very good. I have learned this recently. So I was wrong about that in our season premiere episode. South Dakota is a good team. So to me, that's almost a little reminiscent of, maybe not quite the same, of the year 2016 where North Dakota State came to Kinnick and beat Iowa. It's maybe a little bit reminiscent of that. So, yeah, I think it's definitely a trap spot there for Iowa State. Coming off, I mean, even if they win, it's kind of an emotional win for them. And then, like you said, the travel, all that kind of stuff. So we're not an Iowa State podcast, but we feel obligated to maybe talk about it a little bit just because it sort of indirectly impacts Iowa. Like you said, I think beating Iowa State as a top 25 team in Jack Trice in week 3 would be a nice feather in the cap for Iowa, but also then Iowa State has to actually go out the rest of the season after losing to Iowa and remain something close to a top 25 team for it to even matter in the long term anyways. So that's kind of my view on it. Is we'll see kind of where both, I mean, you can glean a lot from a head-to-head matchup against a conference opponent too. I also think, Iowa State has to kind of put themselves out there right away in week 1. You can't go and hold anything back. So that's going to give Iowa something in the way of film to study going into week 3. So like you said, it's 2 games that Iowa State will have under their belt before they get to Iowa, but also Iowa will have 2 full games of film to study to kind of prepare themselves. And I think that's going to maybe work to Iowa's advantage in some way too. So, yes, you did mention it. There are some injury. There is specifically one offensive line injury already for Iowa State that's going to maybe hold them back. So, yep. That's kind of where I'm at with it too. I think it's a close loss for Iowa State. I think it's I don't know why, it just feels like a 24-21 kind of deal. So 24-21. I don't think Kansas State, some people are really pumping up Kansas State. I don't know. I don't know who Kansas State really brought in that has everybody so sky high. I think they're just counting on Avery Johnson to actually learn how to pass the ball this season.
Everybody's got a hard on for him, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're all over Avery Johnson. So that'll be interesting to watch. But yeah, give us Kansas State. And no, it's not just because we hate Iowa State on this podcast.
No, I legitimately think they
it'll
win this
be
football
a good
game.
game.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, I am going to take a good question that has kind of been flying around on Hawkeye Insider and apply it to this podcast because it's been out there for a little bit. And I just want to get your thoughts. I know where I would stand, but if you could add one guy to this upcoming year's Iowa football team, just one guy, from any point in the Kirk Ferentz era, let's say, who would you add? Just one.
Oh, God. I would go Marvin McNutt. I want to stand out all Big Ten receiver to match up with the FCS equivalent Heisman Trophy quarterback. That's what.
Yeah, a more competent quarterback. You want to basically reverse the narrative when it comes to the passing offense, and Marvin McNutt would help that.
I think so, for sure.
Yeah, Marvin McNutt was probably third on my list.
Okay.
My number one, this may be recency bias here, but Tristan Wirfs, and although he didn't play left tackle at Iowa, plug him in at left tackle because we know he's capable because he's doing it in the NFL. So he could definitely do it at the college level. He didn't because Jackson was comfortable at left, but not at right. Because Alaric Jackson was here at the same time, and he was comfortable solely at left, but not at right.
Yeah.
So I think in a way that would kind of help the offense a lot too. Not specifically, maybe, well, it would help the offense in the passing game because Tristan Wirfs is good as a pass blocker and a run blocker. But it would lean into the strength of the offense even more. And I think, therefore, kind of make the offense better because Gronowski wouldn't have to worry about his blind side like at all.
Sure.
For the most part, you know, and he would have all the comfortability and time in the pocket to do whatever he wants, kind of, you know. That's such a luxury to have. That's something that makes quarterbacks better. Even if they're not the best quarterbacks, any quarterback with time is going to pick apart a defense for the most part.
For sure.
If they have time, they're going to pick them apart. If they're even just an average passer, they're going to do that. So I think that would help. And then my number 2 was Sean Green. I don't know. I just, you know, how 2009, a good example. It was the year after Sean Green had gone to the NFL, but that's where Stanzi really kind of broke out. And we made it work with Adam Robinson and Brandon Wager, and the offensive line really gelled. And we had good receivers. But I thought, you know, if Sean Green had been back for 2009, that's an undefeated ball club, you know?
Sure.
Because even in the Northwestern game where Stanzi goes down, a guy like Sean Green can carry an offense in that kind of a scenario.
Yeah.
So like he did in 2008, which I wish that we hadn't had a quarterback battle in 2008. We messed around with Jake Christensen for far too long in 2008.
Yeah.
You know, before we ultimately landed rightly on Ricky Stanzi. So,
I mean,
that's
if you were to give me a 2A, 2B, I would go on the defensive side of the ball, and I would say like Desmond King, Bob Sanders.
Oh yeah, dude. Or even Cooper. Cooper on this team would be amazing.
Yeah.
Just one of those guys that would shut down one side of the field.
Yeah.
But although it does sound like so TJ Hall is back at practice. He had been dealing with an injury, and it does sound like there's kind of a high degree of confidence from the coaches in TJ Hall. So we'll wait to see it, but it's good when Iowa's coaches have confidence in somebody. And Phil, the note that I got was that Phil Parker thinks this would be more of the norm that we're used to seeing out of the Iowa secondary this year. So if it's just, say, an average year, maybe not the best secondary that we've seen under the Phil Parker era, maybe it's just an okay year in that regard, that would be better than where we were last year. That's kind of what I'm hoping for, Drew, is just a year where it's serviceable, right? We're not getting beat all the time. We're making just enough plays to, you know, get the defense off the field.
Yeah, I think the years of double-digit interceptions for the team is over, at least in the near term.
Yeah, maybe. We're going to face a lot of good passing offenses this year too, so that's something that people need to be mindful of. Like, kind of as the season progresses, is like the schedule really kind of bumps up in that regard. So the back end could be better theoretically, but also give up quite a bit of yardage, maybe.
Yeah.
It also comes down to points. So that's just kind of where I'm at coming out of fall camp. So the other big thing, so Kirk Ferentz had a presser today, is that he mentioned health. They're very, very healthy at this point in time. Like, it seems like in years past, maybe out of fall camp, there was always someone who had some sort of nagging injury that carried into the season, kind of impacted them for the season.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like that exists for anyone on the two deeps, really. So that's very good news. If everybody on the two deeps is truly 100% and ready to go from the jump, that's big, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's the healthiest the team has gone into the season for quite some time, actually.
Yes. According to Kirk, it's the healthiest that the team has been in years. So I think that's significant. Some people won't see it that way, but I really do. So, all right. Drew, I know maybe we wanted to do some power conference previews, but I kind of think this is the right time to maybe just take a little bit of a break, and then we'll come back and maybe make some quick picks about maybe the other power conferences, maybe lock in on the Big Ten just a little bit since we're kind of a Big Ten podcast. So
yep, I like it.
We'll take a break and then we'll come back.
Making great tasting bourbon requires the perfect combination of ingredients, conditions, and time. The longer it rests, the better it tastes. Revelton Distillery's new single barrel bourbon is made from 80% corn, sourced 100% from Iowa farmers. And unlike mass-produced bourbons, each barrel of Revelton's single barrel bourbon is unique, proofed on when it tastes best. As they like to say, it'll be ready when it's ready. And to ensure the highest standards of quality and flavor, owners Rob and Christy Taylor oversee the production and bottling. Every single barrel. Iowa born, Iowa aged, Iowa bottled. Try the new single barrel bourbon from Iowa's own Revelton Distillery. ReveltonDistillery.com. Whether you're buying, selling, or refinancing your home, or if it's simply time to renovate the one you're already living in, you need an experienced mortgage professional to help you analyze your financing options and to make sure the closing goes smoothly. And that's exactly what you get when you call Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. Kyle's experience and expertise, coupled with Wintrust's rates and programs, ensures you'll get the mortgage that's right for you. You may even qualify for down payment assistance. Before you reach out to a realtor, call Kyle and get pre-qualified, empowering you to start shopping for the home of your dreams. Call Kyle at 515-473-0546. Kyle Lehman Wintrust Mortgage, 515-473-0546. In 2023, a crack Green Beret named Dan Douglas retired his military command and promptly escaped to a full-time career in real estate. Today, this man is wanted by home buyers and sellers who want to survive the process without spending a fortune. If you have a home to sell or want to buy one, maybe you can hire Dan Douglas at Green Beret Realty. You can find him at greenberetrealty.com. greenberetrealty.com.
All right, we're back. Drew, we'll kind of go through the power conferences, the Power Four, as they kind of call it. ACC, Big 12, Big 10, SEC, not necessarily in that order, but let's kind of start in the ACC. I think there's maybe 3 teams that can win it in my mind. I think they're Clemson, Miami, SMU, probably the top 3. Clemson and SMU made the college football playoffs last year, and they both bring back their quarterbacks. Miami, as we know, missed the college football playoffs. Probably should have made it, but had some late season upsets that kept them out. They brought in Carson Beck, which I know people maybe aren't high on Carson Beck. I think he's okay. I think he'll provide enough of a spark to keep Miami kind of towards the top. But I think this is probably going to run, Drew, in my eyes. Clemson's going to be the winner of this conference. they bring back a lot of guys, including Klubnik, who could be potentially in New York for the Heisman. He's certainly on the short list of guys who can be there. Clemson, SMU, Miami is how I'd pick it right now. And then if I had to pick a sleeper, I'd kind of take Georgia Tech. Kind of like how they've been rising, and Haynes King is back, or maybe Louisville. So what do you know about the ACC this year, Drew?
Not a whole hell of a lot, Andrew. I mean, I couldn't have summed it up better than you just did. Carson Beck to Miami is clearly the biggest move in the conference. I have a higher opinion of Miami and Carson Beck, if believe it or not. I mean, look how much football he's played at Georgia. You know, national champion, right?
Sure.
How are you gonna shit on that kid winning the national championship? So he may have went to Miami for the wrong reasons.
Maybe.
And then they broke up, but whatever. This isn't a gossip podcast. It's a football podcast. I'm actually going to say Clemson and Miami are going to be the ACC championship game. And I think SMU is going to be the one on the outside looking in this year. And actually, I think Miami is going to get it done. I think Clemson and Miami both make the playoff. I think that's a two-big league again this year. But I'm going to take Miami and Carson Beck, man. I don't like how people are shitting on him. So I think he's got something to prove. And, yeah, I mean, Clemson's kind of just been – I can't say average, but they haven't been like the championship dynasty level of late. So Klubnik, yeah, he's a serviceable quarterback. Not serviceable quarterback. He's a good quarterback. But I don't think he's anything dynamic, I guess. Like, what's he going to do in a 2-minute drill? Stuff like that. So give me Miami over Clemson and the ACC title game. Both of them make it to the playoff. Okay. And a dark horse for shits and giggles. Give me NC State.
Oh, why do you say NC State?
Man, year in and year out, they're like it seems like they're the Iowa of the ACC. They're like, you can book them for an 8-4. But man, like if one of those close games go the other way and they go 9-3, they accidentally trip into the ACC title game somehow. Because I think there's more. I don't know what the word is for it. Competitiveness in this conference across the board. I don't know. I mean, I see both Miami and Clemson tripping up. I think they're both going to end up being 10-2 teams.
Okay. This league has some sneaky I like that because CJ Bailey was a true freshman last year, and there's some people that are high on him. So I kind of like that. This is kind of a sneaky good quarterback league. Like we talked about Klubnik, we talked about Beck, but then you have like Miller Moss, who came over from USC to Louisville, and we know what Jeff Brom does with quarterbacks there. Tommy Castellanos, who came from BC to Florida State. Mensa, who transferred up from Tulane. Duke spent a lot of money on Mensa. We talked about Haynes King. We talked about CJ Bailey. Sneaky good quarterback play in the ACC this year, in my eyes. So next, kind of maybe the SEC, Drew. If you want to start us off, I'm kind of flipping through. If you're not listening to this on our YouTube or our Twitter and you can't see our video, I'm kind of flipping through my college football preview magazine as I'm kind of talking about this to kind of give myself an idea of what's going on. I know the teams in the conferences, but Big 12, Arizona State won it last year, obviously ended up in the college football playoff. I don't know. Big 12 to me is kind of interesting because I think there's a lot of teams, and we're going to say this every year with the Big 12, feels like there's a lot of teams, maybe 6, 7 teams that aren't really separated by a whole heck of a lot in my eyes. Arizona State is one of them. Iowa State's another. Kansas State's another. Texas Tech, a lot of people are high on because they spend a lot of money. TCU, some people are high on. BYU, some people like, although they lost Jake Retzlaff. Where are you leaning on the Big 12?
Well, you started the sentence with SEC and then you meant to Big 12. So I'll go to Big 12 and pivot.
I went to SEC and then went to Big 12. Never mind. Let's go Big 12.
But now that you've kind of set us up on a tee, I think Arizona State's still the favorite to win this conference, to repeat.
Okay.
I say that for 2 reasons, and it's both on the offensive side of the ball. I think Sam Leavitt is going to be the best quarterback in this league. I think at the end of the day, he may be a second, third team All-American when his career's over. I think he's that good. Out wide, arguably the best receiver in this league as well, Jordan Tyson, who did not play in the Big 12 championship game, did not play in the college football playoff, and perhaps if he did play in the college football playoff, they knock off Texas. They should have beat Texas as is with an incredible effort from Cam Scattaboo. Of course, he's graduated and moved on to the Giants, I believe. And so there's a big hole there. He's a generational player. He was great. Oftentimes most of the offense. But I mean, you got Sam Leavitt coming back. You got Jordan Tyson back healthy. Big 12 is known for big explosions on offense, right? And I just think that this offense is going to be good enough to outscore everybody. As far as other contenders, Texas Tech, I'm not going to – I get it on paper and with paper money. They brought in all this talent, but that never really worked out for Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M, did it? So they've had top 3 recruiting classes. Texas A&M did for every year Jimbo was there when they paid him under the table, and that never came to fruition. I think their best season might have been 9-3 in a random ass Orange Bowl appearance or something. But so I'm not buyers of Texas Tech. I've seen some good things about Baylor. All of a sudden, I don't know what you see from Oklahoma State. Is Gundy on his way out? Especially after being that they were the preseason pick last year. Oklahoma State was, I believe, to win the conference, and they won 3 games all year, something like that. They were terrible.
Yeah, they were awful. Yeah, I am not buying Texas Tech necessarily either. To me, it feels a little bit like Florida State last year in a way. I don't think it'll end up that bad, Drew, but it feels to me like a team of mercenaries kind of just cobbled together.
Yeah.
I don't know if it fits necessarily into a strong team. Arizona State, probably the favorite. I really liked BYU until the whole Retzlaff thing went down. I'm going to try not to be boring and just pick Arizona State with you because their Big 12 schedule, I think, is actually kind of tough to start off, and really maybe throughout is kind of a difficult Big 12 schedule. They have to start out at Baylor, who people are high on because Baylor won their last 6 regular season games in a row last year. That's why people are high on Baylor, because Sawyer Robertson really started to flash a lot of potential there. And, yeah, I do think Sam Leavitt's good. I like Kenny Dillingham. but they have to go at Baylor, host TCU, which people are high on, and then they have to go to Utah. And Utah really struggled last year, but they brought in a quarterback, Dampier from New Mexico, who I think is going to probably elevate that offense in a way that it's something close to what Utah kind of was when they were winning 10-plus games under Whittingham. And Utah is actually going to be my pick to win the conference. I like Dampier, and I like a bounce back for Utah because I think the defense is always solid there. They are like, to me, if Iowa was a Big 12 team, it would be a lot like Utah. Utah's maybe a step down. I don't know if they have necessarily the resources that Iowa does, but Utah is going to be my pick. I think Utah is going to bounce back in a big way this season.
Okay. I will throw a wrench into this then because we'll just throw in a title game, but I will preface this with I believe this is another one bid league season.
Oh, yeah.
For the Big 12.
Yeah.
Give me in that title game Kansas.
Whoa.
Lance Leipold, Jalen Daniels, and the Jayhawks. Give them to me.
And don't forget our old friend LaShawn Williams.
I was going to say, I knew there was a running back there in Lawrence. Yes, that's right.
LaShawn Williams from Iowa. Also, their tight end is Deshaun Hanukkah, who started his career at Iowa State, I believe.
Huh.
So there is some Iowa and Iowa State influence going on the Kansas Jayhawks. So I do think Kansas would be better than they were last year, but I won't go as far to pick them. I think
hey, they were just as hot as Baylor last year. They won their last 5 in a row until they played in Ames, right? Like
they won 3 of their last 4. They got crushed by Baylor.
Okay.
They beat Iowa State in Arrowhead.
That's right.
45-36. So they won at BYU. It was a very strange season because they only won 5 games, but they really turned it on at the end of the year.
But they knocked off all the ranked opponents. That's right.
They knocked off Iowa State and BYU in back-to-back weeks, and then Colorado in 3 weeks.
That's right. Yep.
No.
Let me keep the momentum in Lawrence, Kansas. I want to see a 9-win. You know what? I think 9 wins again makes this final. I think this is another 6-3 debacle tiebreaker scenario.
Give me Utah and Baylor battling it out for the Big 12 championship. I'm going to ride with Sawyer Robertson and Devin Dampier.
I bet you could get that for a really good price on DraftKings futures.
Yeah, I'm not going to bet it because nothing is certain in the Big 12. And I'll just be throwing my money down a drain. So, all right. Now for real this time, we're going to talk about the SEC.
Okay.
So I think we all know the favorite here because it's a team that's ranked number 1 in a lot of places, not everywhere, because Penn State shares that in some polls. But Texas is considered the number 1 team in the country and therefore kind of the favorite in the SEC. There's a lot of other teams. Who do you think wins the SEC, Drew?
Oh my God, there's so much talent in this league, and I hate to freaking say that because nobody here in Iowa likes the SEC. I mean, I think there's 4 teams that can win this league. I'm gonna cut it down to 4. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Georgia's one of them either.
I would agree.
I don't think Georgia's one of them either. So obviously, you prefaced with Texas. I will go with Texas as well. just by overall talent, right? Give me Alabama. I think Alabama's going to be back. I think they're going to, I don't know, restore some glory into that program, I guess, per se, of the Nick Saban years. Who was the Grubb, right?
Grubb is
the
back. Yes, Grubb is back.
Ryan Grubb is back with the old head coach now at Alabama from their time at Washington. So I'm happy. I'm happy about that. I think they're going to click again. So give me Alabama as a second choice. LSU, Garrett Nussmeier. You know, everybody on television says if you got a quarterback, you got a chance. I think Nussmeier has a go to New York City season. I'm not saying necessarily win it, but I think he's gonna. It's a breakout season for Nussmeier.
Yeah.
And the fourth pick. The fourth pick.
Ooh,
Who you think I got?
the Gators.
It is the Gators, actually. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think they restore some great football back into that program. I'm not going to say that they. I don't even think they play for the title, but I think they college football playoff. I think those four are for sure in the playoff. How about that?
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I like that. So
anyway, give me Alabama, Texas for the final, and I'm actually going to say Roll Tide. I think Roll Tide. I think the Tide wins the SEC.
Yeah. Texas is going to win. They're going to finish at the top of this league in the regular season just purely based on their schedule because their toughest play South Carolina, who some people are high on. They don't play. Let's see. They play Oklahoma and Dallas. They play Vanderbilt at home. They play Arkansas at home. They play A&M at home. Right. So the schedule makers for this year did Texas some nice favors with their SEC scheduling.
Speaking of OU, speaking of Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
Why are they number 18?
Purely based off their name, and people love John Mateer, who came in from Washington State. People think John Mateer at Oklahoma with more talent around him than what he had at Washington State is going to take off to another level. There's some people that think Mateer could win the Heisman, right? Like he's being talked about as kind of a nice dark horse Heisman contender type quarterback. I think Texas is winning this league, and that will have them probably at number 1 in the country, especially if they smoke Ohio State in week 1 at Ohio State, which we'll see. That'll be interesting because it's Arch's, first real true road game as a starter, and it's at the Horseshoe week 1. And Ohio State's breaking in a new quarterback as well. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup right away in week 1 there for those two teams. But that doesn't impact conference play. And then another team that I like that's kind of buried down deep here that I think is going to maybe surprise some people. It's not the Gators. It's Texas A&M.
Oh,
I am in on Texas A&M because Marcel Reed is back, as is Le'Veon Moss. But I really kind of liked what I saw out of Marcel Reed last year. So I think Texas A&M surprises people, and they got maybe a gift with the scheduling too because they don't play Alabama or Georgia in the regular season. They do play at LSU and at Texas. So that's very tough because LSU is probably my third team, and then Florida is probably my fourth. So I'm going Texas A&M, LSU, Florida.
No
in
Alabama.
the SEC.
No Alabama. No
Alabama fifth.
Wow.
Alabama fifth. Georgia sixth.
Are they all making the playoff?
I'm
all
going.
six?
No. Texas will make the playoff. Texas A&M will make the playoff. And then probably LSU. And then maybe Florida. Florida will be kind of in the conversation.
We don't have a lot of teams in there right now, Andrew. We only have one from the Big 12 and two from the ACC. That's only 3 teams.
And then I would have 6. Okay, well, I'll probably have to put like 5 SEC teams in then.
So you bump Alabama in. Georgia's out.
Yeah, because did we bump up to 16 this year?
Nope, we're still 12.
They're still 12. We're going to 16 next year, probably.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I probably got to put 4 SEC teams in then, I guess. Sadly. I'll do it. Yeah, Texas A&M, LSU, Florida are going to be my 4 SEC teams that make the college football playoff.
Okay.
But I think A&M is going to be a surprise to a lot of people.
I like it.
Me picking A&M. So, all right. We saved the best conference for last. So, let's go Big Ten because kind of like the SEC, it kind of starts with maybe one team at the top and then kind of goes from there because everybody and their dog is high on Penn State. They're either number 1 or number 2. It really depends on where you look. So, are you as high on Penn State as everybody else?
So let me put it this way. So you're familiar with the KXNO College Football Dynasty League that our friends Sean Roberts and Lucas Strain are running, right? This is the second year that they're running it from the
Yeah,
Raiders.
I'm familiar.
Okay. I was a lucky selection to participate in it this year. And I had the 3rd overall pick of what team I wanted.
Oh.
And I took Penn State. The number 1 selection was Notre Dame. It shocked me. It's like, oh, this is great.
Sorry, who took Notre Dame over?
I don't know. I can't even remember who the second pick was, but Penn State, after doing all my research, all the top 100 players on EA Sports, this, that, the other, the matchups, everything, my mathematical conclusion came to Penn State was the team to select. And I say that because I get to be the coach and not that fucking prick James Franklin. Because I think he finds a way to fuck it up. He's going to make the playoff. There's just way too much fucking talent that team doesn't make the playoff. They'll make the playoff. I don't think they win the Big Ten. I think they probably lose the final. It's really hard to even say who, though, right? Because, I mean, Ohio State, like you said, just breaking in a new quarterback, but they got Jeremiah Smith, who's an absolute monster. Oregon is always run and gun. They're going to be a factor.
There's a lot of questions for me with Oregon this year.
Yeah.
The more I kind of dive into Oregon, the more I kind of go, I'm not sure this Oregon team is going to be as good as people think.
I think both Illinois and Indiana are going to be disappointments.
Ooh.
Both of them. both of them. And by disappointments, I mean based on expectations, right? Indiana played in the college football playoff last year. How the fuck they do that, you know? And then, you know, get monkey stomped by Notre Dame in the first round, but they made it. Iowa hasn't. In Illinois, I mean, yeah, they got quarterback playing with Luke Altmaier, right? I don't know. Like, I think Bielema's best days are behind him as well. I'm not buying either of those teams, and I know what I said in my preseason prediction for record, but I truly think Iowa could be third or fourth in the Big Ten and a college football playoff spot.
I like that because, and here's how I'm building the case to myself is I'm not high on Oregon. So if you're not high on Oregon, then I think it starts with there's a clear top two with Penn State, Ohio State. Those two will finish in some order. I would probably lean Penn State purely based off the talent. I also think Penn State upgraded their wide receivers, Drew. They brought in Pena from Syracuse, and they brought in Ross the Ross kid from Troy, who we got to see in Kinnick up close and personal for 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Part of Troy.
Yeah.
They also just have probably the 2 best running backs in the conference. No big deal. In the same backfield. And by the way, the best quarterback probably in the conference too. And the best offensive line, maybe. It's 1A, 1B with Iowa's offensive line. You can either put Iowa as the top or Penn State as the top. You take your pick. But I think those two are basically interchangeable at the O-line this year. But so offense is just loaded. And they have the former Kansas OC in his second year. And they have Jim Knowles, the defensive coordinator. So Penn State might just be loaded. So I'm going to pick them to win the conference. I'm going to pick Ohio State too. And then I just am not going to believe in any Oregon or any Michigan hype or definitely not any Nebraska hype. But I'm going to probably buy into Illinois a little bit. I buy into Illinois more than most people. I think they're going to end up third. I'm going to put Illinois third.
Okay.
I'm going to put Iowa fourth. I'm going to have Iowa finishing fourth. And then I'm going to have Oregon and then USC right behind them. So Iowa fourth. Oh, no, hang on. I'm going to put Washington above Oregon.
Damn.
I'm putting Washington above Oregon, and this is kind of based on the schedule because they open their Big Ten schedule by bringing in Ohio State at home. I think they'll probably lose that. Then they play Michigan on the road. They play Illinois at home, and then they play Oregon at home to finish the season. So it's maybe not the easiest, but they also get Wisconsin, Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, Maryland. And I think Washington is better than all those teams. So I really think they kind of have 5 Big Ten wins kind of built in already. And I think if they can maybe win 2 out of the 3 with the Ohio State, Michigan, or 2 out of the 4 with the Ohio State, Michigan, Illinois, Oregon, they're going to have 7 conference wins. And I like DeMond Williams, the way that he kind of showed up late last year. So give me kind of Oregon to finish 5th right behind Iowa.
All right. You're giving me an order that I'm going.
Not Oregon, not Washington. Washington, Oregon, USC. Then Indiana. And then who cares? Minnesota, Nebraska, Oh no, Minnesota, Michigan State, Nebraska. Nebraska's going to finish like 10th or 11th in my standings.
So,
That's just purely a hate of I hate Nebraska. I'm putting them down at 10th or 11th. I'm not buying any Husker hype until they show it on the field. So,
all right. So I haven't given you an order yet then. So I'm saying Ohio State over Penn State in the title game,
okay.
the Big Ten title game. I'm saying Oregon does hold on to third.
Okay.
And I'm saying Iowa fourth.
Okay.
Followed by Illinois and Indiana.
I like it.
They'll be on the outside looking in. One of those two might be fighting for a fifth bid. Doubt it, though.
So I really think pretty much if you're top 4 in the Big Ten or the SEC in the regular season, you're very likely in a spot where you're going to make it to the college football playoffs, especially in the 12-team format. So, yeah, because 4 from the SEC, 4 from the Big Ten, and what do we say? 2 from the ACC?
2
1
from
from
the
the
ACC
Big
and 1 Big 12 and 1 Group of 5, right?
Yeah, so take your pick of.
I have my Group of 5 pick for the record.
Ooh, let's hear it because I don't want to just be boring. Let's hear your Group of 5.
I'm not going to be boring either. It's going to be Army.
Oh, I love that. Tell me why Army is going to be the Group of 5.
Because they were 10-0 going into Week 11 last year and shit the bed. And if they would have just ran it out and then beat Navy, they would have made it, not Boise State.
Yeah,
they would have taken an undefeated Service Academy over that Boise State team for sure.
Yeah, probably. A lot of people are just running it back with Boise State. I don't know.
I think that's boring too. I like picking something else. That's why. And Army's close to my heart. They were so close last year until they shit the bed late. So
yeah, I'm just who in like the American Conference could make it. I don't know. Some people are maybe high on Navy. I'm not going to pick Navy. Oh, here's my dark horse team, Tulane.
There it is.
Tulane just got Retzlaff from BYU.
Oh.
So, unfortunately, our guy Brendan Sullivan is headed to the bench. But Brendan Sullivan will back up Jake Retzlaff.
Well, the good news is Retzlaff can have college sex down there, so good for him.
There you go. But Tulane, probably the only thing standing between them and college football playoff bid, well, they host Northwestern and Duke. That's probably the only 2 things that might stand in between them and the college football playoffs. So we'll see. I don't think Northwestern's going to be very good. I don't know how good Duke will be.
I don't know either.
Because they got Tulane's quarterback. So that's interesting. Tulane is hosting Duke, and their quarterback went to Duke.
That's
so. Wild. Tulane also goes to Ole Miss. Okay, this might be tougher than I thought for Tulane.
Army goes to Kansas State week 2.
Oh boy, it's tough out here for these.
I'm probably going to. I plan on going to that game actually.
It's tough out here for these mid-major teams.
But you think Army knocks off Kansas State, and Kansas State beat Iowa State, a potential top 10 win on the road on that resume, top 15 for sure.
Top 15 for sure, and then it's really just the conference in your way, kind of for them.
Yeah.
At that point, and the game with Navy. So I think someone from the American is my pick. I don't know if it's Tulane or Army or Navy or what, or Memphis. Who knows? But
Yeah.
someone from the American. So, all right, Drew. We've carried on. We've talked about a lot of things that aren't Hawks this week. So
That's okay. That's okay, man. This is week
Yeah.
0, right? So there's only like a handful of college football games here in week 0. One of them did have an indirect effect on the Hawkeyes. So I mean, we did have to talk about that. Made some preseason picks. I think we filled time just fine.
One Iowa Hawkeye related note, recruiting note. Labor Day weekend, McKenna Wolitzko, 5-star women's basketball recruit. Big deal. Probably our highest level recruit in the 2026 class that we're after. Top 10, top 10 overall in the nation. Nice wing player is coming to Iowa City to visit on next Saturday, kind of through the weekend. So, and then immediately after that, like early the next week, she's going to make her decision. And she's down to Iowa and South Carolina.
Oh, so she's going to see Kinnick on a Saturday on a visit.
She's going to see Kinnick on the Saturday, and, Jan Jensen gets to make her kind of final pitch right before she makes her decision. So I think it's a good sign that she made it here to Iowa without being decided.
Yeah.
If you can kind of read the tea leaves there. It'll be interesting if that domino falls, kind of what other dominoes might fall for the Iowa women's team and recruiting in 2026 specifically, because there's a few other top young guns, as Jan Jensen would call them. She calls them young guns. She's always going to visit the young guns. Who are uncommitted but heavily considering Iowa. So that could probably be influenced by a player of Wolitzko's caliber choosing Iowa. So we'll see. It's kind of a critical moment there. So we'll be back next week with a game preview, but we'll be kind of keeping our eye on that.
We made it.
Hey, one other note. I wanted to run this down. Did you get to see the video of Lester and Seth Wallace mic'd up this week?
I didn't. I saw you repost it, I think.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. Tim Lester and Seth Wallace are kind of two of the more interesting people to listen to.
Okay. I like it.
Also, well, I'll spoil it. Ben McCollum makes a special appearance.
I love that. That's great.
Ben McCollum shows up at football practice to hang out next to Kirk Ferentz.
I did see pictures of that as well.
Yeah, he's just out here just getting a feel for competition, is what he said.
I love it.
So that's cool. It's like there's kind of a synergy kind of between the men's basketball team and the football team going on that I kind of like, because that was already going on with the women's basketball team, because Kirk Ferentz actually helped recruit Lucy Olson.
Oh.
Because Jan Jensen got stuck and couldn't make it back in time for Lucy Olson's visit when she was considering transferring to Iowa, and they had to send Kirk Ferentz in. And Kirk Ferentz helped close the deal with Lucy Olson.
That's pretty wild.
So maybe Kirk Ferentz will be a part of the pitch to McKenna Wolitzko.
I would say this, like, maybe we can send Ben McCollum into the wrestling room to help Tom Brands out.
That'd be so sweet. That there is kind of maybe a camaraderie between Iowa coaches, for sure, between the basketball coaches and the football coaches, that I don't think really existed before.
No.
So that's something that is cool to see, that I think is kind of special about Iowa, that I don't know if that exists at other places.
I'm not sure.
Maybe, but I'm not sure that I haven't seen it at Iowa. So there's a good positive note, good positive way to end the show. We'll be back to see if we made a fool of ourselves in the Iowa State-Kansas State game, and look forward to Albany next week. Everybody have a great night. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Talking football, talking hoops, every sport in between. IOWA, yeah, you know what I mean. From a hawk's eye view, see the whole state rise. With a heart so strong and fire in our eyes. On the field, on the court, in the stands we shine. The best in the game, yeah, the state is mine.